Like, at what point do you say, yo, I'm struggling because my bad financial habits. I'm struggling because of drug abuse. I'm struggling because of alcohol abuse. I'm struggling because of party abuse. I'm struggling because of attention abuse because I pay more attention to video games and negative things. Like, at what point do you identify, hey, is something wrong with what's going on with me financially that does not allow me to gain new experiences in life? I'm in a financial rut, but everything that I'm doing and everybody I'm around is the same thing that I've been around. So you're staying in a certain environment because of the habits that you've adapted, the habits that you've been accustomed to, and you haven't made a change. So you will never gain new experiences. You can't be, you'll never be a basketball player if you don't go experience basketball. Like, I don't care if you train for football your whole life. Some people are trained one way and you go, okay, I'm athletic on a football field. Some people are prone to be able to make it in the struggle. They are trained and conditioned to make it in the struggle. Conditioned and being strong in the struggle is not the same as conditioned and being strong when it comes to succeeding and being excelling in life. It's two different kind of ways to condition. I can make it through anything. No, you can make it through hard times. You've shown us that. The condition to make it through good times and to excel through good, it takes a different level of like exposure, a different mindset, a different opening, a different outlook on life. Everything is different, and I know it because I come from it.
It has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to Circle of Greatness, man. Today I got a super duper special episode, man. So this is one of my business partners, amazing entrepreneur, one of the biggest thinkers I know. When I talk about, man, this dude come up with just some, we was just talking yesterday, he came up with something. I'm like, man, where did you get this from? So we gonna really get into the mind of this entrepreneur, this leader, Marcus, aka Him500. Welcome to the show, dog.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you having me.
If y'all probably see us online, we always like fooling, like going back and forth playing, but we're gonna have a fun conversation and we're gonna have, money conversation. Because my goal, Marcus, I want somebody to be able to listen to this and really be able to level up in this season, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Greatness. No, I feel good. I feel good.
Yeah.
No, definitely dope conversation yesterday. You said something just now, like when you asked about like, yo, coming up with great ideas, coming up with ideas. And I tell people all the time, it's like your greatest ability and the greatest thing that you've been blessed with is if you have the ability to think. And everybody, some of us have been blessed with the ability to think. Now, all of us can properly think. And so if you have the ability to think, take time out and embrace that and really cue in and sit down and have thinking sessions with yourself and look at and analyze the market. Sometimes it's that if you think, you can judge. So like I judge, like, I don't know if you want to go into what I said yesterday, we might expose what I said, but if we can judge, we can then properly analyze things. You know what I mean? Like, and you got to be a critical judge, whether it's all the way good or you can be able to judge things when it's bad. And so for me, I just always judge my industry. Yeah. What's missing? Yeah. What is it too much of? What is not needed and versus what's needed. Yeah. And so that way it allows me to think and like, yo, how can I put something in place that would be dope in my industry that's not existent?
Let me ask you this question though. So a lot of people they're in like a zone where they're in like survival mode. Like, yo, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay my next bills, maybe living paycheck to paycheck, just really trying to figure it out. And they may feel like I don't got time to think. What would be the strategy for that person to think who got the weight of the world on their shoulders, they're stressed, they may be in debt, and they just like, yo, they just keep getting further in the hole. Like, what would you tell that?
How you get them out of that? Like, that's the reality of most people. What we go through before we get a breakthrough is that you're trying to figure something out. But what I realize is that you have to literally be willing to do anything. A lot of times we get people who come around, people who are going through situations, but they have things that they're not willing to do. And so you have to literally say, yo, it's nothing that I'm not willing to do. Like I tell people, if I had that conversation, I say, yo, listen, we'll go pick up a second job at McDonald's. Yeah. And they respond like, I'm not trying to work at McDonald's. And what that shows is you don't necessarily have to work at McDonald's. You can go drive for Uber. You can do Uber Eats. You can do DoorDash, whatever. You may go rake leaves. You have to, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have to figure out and take time and really analyze yourself. Like, it's not thinking of ways to make money. You got to think of ways to like, yo, what am I doing wrong with the money I'm making now? Like, what's wrong? Like, and that's the ability to think like, yo, analyze and judge yourself. What am I doing wrong? If I'm working and I'm applying myself, it's 24 hours in a day. I'm not saying getting a second job is going to help you. Realistically, you have to think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I spending time on a video game? Is my car note too expensive? Is my mortgage or rent too expensive? Where's my money going? And when you can figure out where your money is going, then you can actually correct that issue and go, okay, well, maybe, I got this 2020 Camry and maybe I should be catching the bus to work and I could put my car on Turo. See, it's not always, I need to go create another stream of income. Sometimes you pivot, and like the recession-proof mindset is always try to figure out how to benefit from something 2 or 3 times. So you may need to put your car on Turo. You may need to go out and rent your garage out. Like I said, like, yo, and people's like, I don't know if I want to rent my garage out. Why? You want to get in a warm car? So you'll struggle because you want to be comfortable.
Right.
Like a lot of times we get put in places because we're comfortable with the things that we have going on now. And so get uncomfortable. Like, get uncomfortable, do something that you're not willing to do. And from there, then you start to figure out, okay, well, what's other things I can do to generate income? What's other things I can do to make money?
That's good. So essentially, like people got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like we was talking we had a coaching call, our Circle CEO group on our final calls. And the young lady was just like, how she behind? And you like, yo, you just gotta go figure it out. Like you gave her some strategy, of course, but
yeah, I simply told her, I said, listen, is that you get involved in groups. Everybody out here, either you've purchased a course, you're going to purchase a course, you're in free Facebook groups, whatever you're in. A lot of times is that we'll sit there and be like, I'm trying to figure out how to do what everybody else is doing. Like, just because you're in a group around entrepreneurship does not mean you got to be the person to go and start your own healthcare business. You can learn how to be supplemental and say, well, listen, I'll do all your paperwork for you to start your healthcare business. I'll answer if people are doing great on social media and you in a social media content space and you're not the one who's vocal, who can get on a mic and speak, you don't got that personality, that's not your strong point. Well, then say, well, you're good at identify the people who are good on getting on social media and say, well, I'll answer your DMs as a person for you. I'll take care of your DMs. I'll schedule your appointments. I'll vet people and be a setter to make sure that you're not taking consultation calls that don't make sense or not beneficial for you. Yeah. So I will and then what happens is you create a service that becomes beneficial for the people or the environment that you're in. So if other people are doing things or you're in an environment where people are making money and you can't succeed, you don't necessarily have to be that person. Just figure out how to go and be a help, like be of assistance, and create a model around that.
It's funny. So one of my things that I talk to people about, right? I don't got money. And I'm like, yo, let me give you a free game. It's similar around the appointment said, find an entrepreneur or influencer or somebody that got a $1,000 to $100,000 problem or not problem or really a product. Yeah. Whether it's a coaching program, whether it's a certification, whether it's a service, like literally find an individual and just go sell it on their behalf. Like literally, just say if you found a Marcus, okay, Marcus got this new service that's $10,000, right? Yeah. That's going to help entrepreneurs do X, Y, Z. Okay, Marcus, let me go ahead and sell that on your behalf for you. Give me all your leads you got right now. I will cold call every lead you got. I'll send text you got. If you will give me access to your direct messages, I will do all of that. And then you only are getting paid. Like both parties only get paid if you make money. But guess what that costs you? Nothing. It only costs you time. They already did the market. They built their brand off of the marketing. You're using their influence. You're using their lists. And you literally they got a $10,000 product. You sell, you make 500 calls a day. You might sell 5 a month. Yep. Now you got $5,000 a month. You could sell 10 a month. And then somebody else got a $50,000 product or a $100,000 product. So I'll be telling people like, we got to stop using the language of the broke. I don't have it. I can't afford it. No, you got to get resourceful.
The worst thing is you said something, but this is that your ability to think at the level that you think at comes from experience.
That's true.
So we have to have experiences. We have to find experiences. And a lot of times we allow our situation to dictate the experiences that we need to experience, right? When you have when you experience things in life, you learn from it.
Yeah.
It exposes you to different things. You can't think about something. There's no way you can put that into play if you don't know that people sell $10,000 products and somebody's getting paid 10% to sell it.
Yeah.
So since you've learned that, what happens is that you may not be selling a $10,000 product. You may need to go buy a $10,000 product. You may need to buy a $1,000 product and start realizing what these transactions consist of. How do they feel? What comes with it? Like, if I don't have no money, I don't think that there's people out there who are buying $10,000 packages.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
why? Because I'm not around anybody. The people I'm around have no money. So when you say, yo, buy a course for $1,000, I feel like, no, that's not real. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. And what a lot of people don't realize is that they say, yo, well, it should be free if you really want to help people. Right? Because we're just talking about a 10,000, 1,000. And when you're in that position, they say, yo, it should be free if you really want to help people. And I always say is that I've never heard a rich person say that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yo, well, what if people don't got it? If you don't got it, you probably don't deserve to be here. Mm. Like, at what point do you say, yo, I'm struggling because my bad financial habits. I'm struggling because of drug abuse. I'm struggling because of alcohol abuse. I'm struggling because of party abuse. I'm struggling because of attention abuse because I pay more attention to video games and negative things. Like, at what point do you identify, hey, is something wrong with what's going on with me financially that does not allow me to gain new experiences in life? Yeah. I'm in a financial rut, but everything that I'm doing and everybody I'm around is the same thing that I've been around. So you're staying in a certain environment because of the habits that you've adapted, the habits that you've been accustomed to, and you haven't made a change. So you will never gain new experiences. You can't be, you'll never be a basketball player if you don't go experience basketball. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care if you train for football your whole life. Some people are trained one way and you go, okay, I'm athletic on a football field. Some people are prone to be able to make it in the struggle. They are trained and conditioned to make it in the struggle. Conditioned and being strong in the struggle is not the same as conditioned and being strong when it comes to succeeding and excelling in life. It's two different kind of ways of condition. I can make it through anything. No, you can make it through hard times. You've shown us that. Yeah. The condition to make it through good times and to excel through good, it takes a different level of like exposure, a different mindset, a different opening, a different outlook on life. Everything is different, and I know it because I come from it. Yeah. At one point, I used to get money, and I was conditioned to the struggle. And I said, yo, I remember having this conversation with Trap. I said, we can't be conditioned that and do this because we don't want to go back to the hood. We can't do it and grind because we don't want to go broke. See, we're grinding and we're constantly looking back. We'll end up there. See, we got to work and grind and build and develop for our future. Yeah. So our conditioning has to change. The conversations that we have to change. Our reasoning has to change. I'm not doing this. I'm not telling my kids, yo, I'll die for you. No, I'll live for you. See, I'm going to live for you because the fact that I'm willing to live for you is going to show you what life looks like. Yeah. I'm actually going to experience life for you. I'm going to go through every level I can. I'm going to break every barrier I can to properly live for you. So now I'm conditioned and I'm living for betterment. I'm living for success. And that's the same thing that people got to go through. Gain experiences that are going to help you and condition you to be successful. Don't condition yourself out of experiences that you've never experienced.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's deep, man. This guy act like he a philosopher right now. Y'all hear him?
Here you go. Nah, bro, it's just the way we got to look at things. Like, because we realistically, there's so many people that deal with it. And it's like, we come from the struggle. We come from being broke. Like, you come off a food truck. You come from changing tires. I worked in a warehouse. And it'd be like, man, y'all got all this. Like, it's always glitz and glam. Or it's like, yo, anybody can do it. Anybody can't do it. Yeah. You got to intentionally want it. You got to intentionally do it. But it's nothing that you're not willing to do.
Yeah, facts.
That's the problem. Like, it's nothing that you're not willing to do.
Yeah, and I don't think people haven't got to that point of, I will do whatever it takes ethically and legally to make it happen. I will do whatever. Right now, if I got to go back in the hood, I'm in the hood. If I got to go work back at bagging grocery mail, I became mentally unemployable. But I'm saying if I had to go back to off of where I'm at now, and you gotta start over. You lost everything. You gotta start over again.
Mm-hmm. You'll be willing to make calls and sell on somebody's behalf.
Oh, bro. I would do it right. Like when I'm telling people, one of my business partners, that's how we became business partners. I said, wait, you got this product. You selling it for this amount. I literally went to him. He's like, yo, I got this product. It's $250. I'm like, $250? How would you like if I get you $500? He said, you sure? Bet. Give me some numbers. Let me give me some numbers. I then went and got him $1,000 for five people did it for $1,000.
And he was charging $250.
I said, bro, we business partners now. He said, all right, I get 50%, you get 50%. Because guess what? I got you making 100% more than what you were making. I built the entire business off of doing that. And I can literally go do that for 5-10 other people if I wanted to right now. Like, I'll be behind the scenes. Okay, let me help you set this up. That's being resourceful though.
But it's sometimes is that.
And I learned that from a free video on YouTube.
You turned his product up and charged more for what he was already selling. Sometimes people can't analyze and say, yo, you're not charging enough.
Yep.
That's too cheap. And you don't know how to properly sell. So for people that's in sales, if they smart, they look and go, listen, if I can sell somebody's product for more consistently, I can get equity in their business. Yeah. You sold his product because you use your authority. And this doesn't go for people starting out. This is for people who's already authoritative.
I had no authority though.
No.
Meaning no one know I did that.
But you got the authority mentally.
Yeah.
See, so and that's, you got authority. Like authority can be, perceived in many different ways. Is that authority when it comes to mentality, meaning I can overthink you. I think bigger than you, right? I overthink people all the time. And that's one of my good things is that I want to think big. I want to think, and be able to overthink. If I can overthink you and I can outthink you, we all got the same mind. We don't all got the same mind, but we all have the ability to think. Because of my experiences, because of my mindset, because of my eagerness, because of my tenacity, because of my ego, my pride, I think different. Yeah. If I can overthink you, I can think my way into equity into your business. And why? It's not because I'm doing something, I did something wrong. It's I'm going to add value, an immense amount of value to what it is you already have. And if I can double what you have and what you've created in value and resources and income, then if I took you from what you just said, 250 to 1,000, there's 750 there for us to be like, yo, let's split it. So I'm gonna meet you in the middle. We're gonna go 500. I now have equity and ownership in your business. Yeah. Then as a good person with authority, you look and you analyze what markets you're going to, because you can go into any market. I can go and say, yo, Neo, let me partner on you with rapper, athlete, entrepreneur for the clothing. Yep. That's one thing. Or I can say,
shout out to our sponsors, New Age CEO, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, sorry to stop the episode. I know you're probably wondering, Neo, I always see you with that brand on. How can I be a part of it? How can I get the official gear of every entrepreneur in the world? What I need you to do is go to newageceos.com so you can get your gear. We got something for women. We got something for men. We got something for spring. We got something for fall. We got something for winter. We want to make sure you have the official gear of every entrepreneur in the world. Go to newageceos.com.
Or I say, yo, Neo, I like your podcast. Yo, let's see what kind of numbers we can do. But how can I get involved or invest into your podcast? Or I start looking at tech companies. I start looking at companies that I can grow with, that can give me an exit. Yep. Like you start looking at like, yo, where do I get the biggest return at? Because I don't want to go to somewhere into a company that's not going to give me a great return, over the long haul. I don't want to do something that's temporary. I want to do something that I can get a longevity play out and really grow and build forever.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that's good. And we'll talk later on just about more equity stuff. But like that's literally like one of my big plays for 2023 is acquisitions. Like I'm buying media, I'm getting companies, I'm doing a partnership model. For those, but again, for my criteria is, and share with me your criteria in a minute for companies that you're looking for. But I'm looking for media companies that I could buy into. I'm looking for certain influencer entrepreneurs that have digital product businesses that I can come in, bring my expertise, help them grow and scale. But I need somebody that's willing to work hard. Like you got to have work ethic. It's not a let me just chill out and just do nothing. Like I need a grinder, and have some structure in place where we can come in and bring our sauce and really help really grow your stuff up.
My thing that I'm looking at right now is acquiring people who are production based, right? What is it that you produce? So it may be a sneaker company. So I'm dealing with a sneaker company now, and I'm looking at it because I'm looking at what can you produce? Can you produce good quality? Can you produce volume? And can you handle demand? And are you willing to grow? The issue is you deal with a lot of people is that they do things and they build a brand and they want their name attached to everything. And they don't realize that is that New Age CEO is great. I'm gonna use this, but imagine as a sneaker, New Age CEO has a sneaker and I come to it. The owner usually is attached to this is my brand.
Yep.
But what I look at is that when I analyze and look at a business, I realize that you already sourced the product, you already sourced the manufacturer, you sourced the production company, and you know how to ship. So you have access to your suppliers, so you can get multiple different materials. We can do multiple different designs and produce them all, and you already have the shipping in place. So now all I need to do is say, okay, I can come in, and what I'm literally doing, like with a sneaker company, is like I'm looking and going, okay, look, let's take your name away from it. And let's do a collaboration, and you do collaborative drops with, for 100 pair or 250 pair for select influencers who already have a demand for being fly or a demand for, having an audience that demands sneakers. And what we do is we figure out the numbers. Okay, how can we make $250,000 off a 100 pair drop, right? Or how do we make $100,000? And the whole move is, okay, if we can make $250,000 off a drop, how much is it going to cost us to produce it? So if it's going to cost us $25,000 for production and to produce it, okay, cool. Can either we do a equity split with the influencer, because now we don't have to go and acquire new customers. The worst thing that you can do in business, especially in this market, is go and acquire and try to build a new customer base. If I go and partner with somebody who already has a customer base, the supply is there. I mean, the demand is there. The supply isn't there yet. So when we bring the supply, it's an easy sale. We're only selling 250 pair. We're only selling 100 pair. So the supply, we bring the supply. Okay, the reality of it is some people don't want to do business and have to market, and they don't want equity in it. They just want a check up front. So if I know I can make 250,000, it's going to cost me 25,000 to produce it. I can go and give you 50,000. I'm 75,000 in on a $250,000 launch. So now out of that 250, I'm 125. So what that leave me with is what 175, $175,000. Congratulations, we just made 175,000 off of a demand that was already existing. So if we find 10 people to do these collaborations with throughout the year, we look and say, okay, look, we want to do 10 drops throughout the year.
A couple million profit.
But meanwhile, most people have a product and they want to sell it. And congratulations, you made $300,000 and you got people to buy your brand. But guess what? If you don't stay up to times, the brands that was popping last year is out of style now. Meanwhile, we can just look at production. So now we got somebody over constantly designing shoes. All we doing is taking 3 or 4 different shoe designs to different people and having all the different materials laid out. So now you can pick what color, you can pick what materials you want, and now we bring everything to you. All you do is market it. We doing one drop, they limited editions, bomb, and we get paid off of it. But the deal is I'm partnering with people who already had the demand. We already had the supply. So you already figured out how to supply it. As long as you don't got the ego saying, I want my name, I want to build this to, you got to be Neo's, you got to say it's like, that's people's biggest issue. Cool, you miss millions of dollars because you want people to rep and be proud of you. It's like, what you in it for, your ego or the bag? And I'm always in it for the bag. And so if we in it for the bag, let's create that. And that's how people realistically can take it to the next level. Like, New Age CEO is amazing, but y'all figured out how to make sweatsuits, and y'all figured out how to find sweatsuits that people actually like. So once I figure that out, I look and go, well, that's cool, but I do credit. So why don't we partner and we make one that says cash, bum, credit? Like, why can't we have that collaboration versus me bootlegging it? I'm a bootleg it. It's not going to look the same. It don't look the same. It don't feel the same, and it don't sell the same. So why not go to the people who've mastered how to sell it, how to supply it, and now we do a collaboration where we can use your audience and likeness with mine and say, yo, we did a partner collaboration. It's up.
I hope they court that.
I hope so.
Yeah. That was some heat. If they, I'm sitting there thinking, who else can I collab with? I'm sitting there. That's my thing for 2023.
I want a middleman of collaborations. So let's just say, like, I go get a sneaker company and I take a sneaker company and go to Fabulous and do a collaboration. I don't need to create a demand around Fab.
How you decide your pricing for that?
For what?
Like you saying, I'm gonna be the middleman, meaning I got Fab.
I'm partnering here. See, they don't think about going to Fab because they
Got
thinking
it.
about themselves.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
They're trying to build their own brand and have people come buy from them. I got a new sneaker coming out, buy it from me. No, Fab has millions of people who respect Fab for his drip.
Oh, facts.
So if we can do the collab
forever.
Yo, listen, and don't never go empty-handed. See, this is one thing I learned is that a lot of times people go empty-handed. Come with a bag. I got $25,000 up front.
Yep.
$50,000 up front. I give you $50,000. I need 10 posts. I need 10 posts. A photo
If I don't
shoot.
got the money.
If you don't got it, this is where business come into place. If you get your credit together, invest in yourself. That's where business credit come into place.
Is that when you talk about credit to cash? Is that so you do something like that and
then you can allocate that funds into there? But what I would say is that I wouldn't go into debt on something like that until it's tested, tried, and true.
Yeah. You ain't just out here winging crap.
Nah. Yeah. So you want to make sure that when you do it, that's part of the reason of having capital. But that's part of the reason you go and partner with somebody. They may have the money. So they already got the business, but you come in and maybe you can go get the relationship. They maybe can't make the connection. Yeah. So you go, well, listen, this is what we into it for. It'll come out on my back end, but I would prefer. I don't think nobody want to partner with somebody who don't already got some money or getting some money. Yeah. So I would hope that you got some kind of money to be able to get in the game. But these is blueprints because most of the times people put their money in their pocket. They hold their money in their savings account. They put their money on their wrist. They put their money into a car. Oh man, I don't got the money. Sell your car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sell your car.
To do that.
Get your mortgage too high. That's why you ain't got it. Move to a smaller house. Rent the bigger house out. You can use the equity. You can use that home and buy another house.
People want it that bad though, bro.
Now,
I think people like they want Marcus lifestyle, but they don't want Marcus work ethic.
Then turn this episode off.
Yeah.
Don't watch me.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. But I'm saying in general, I don't believe people want things bad enough. And I think it's for a few reasons. It's
the people I hope who's watching a podcast called Greatness is searching for greatness.
Yeah.
I don't think people are watching greatness. I think the people who want nothing are somewhere probably watching
nothing.
Yeah, they watching Shade Room. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They on YouTube and they watching rap battles. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not watching Circle for Greatness and saying, yo, and shout out to all my battle rappers. It's dope. I'm a big fan. But that's where a lot of people spend their time. They don't really go in search of greatness. Yeah. So when you say Circle of Greatness, I don't think people watching your podcast. I hope people not watching your podcast just and accepting. Yeah. I think they want more. That's why they're here. We got a very small niche of audience of people who tune in, watch, and pay attention to us. The whole world does not pay attention to us. And so for the niche people who do pay attention to us, take heed to what's being said. Take heed to the notes that the jewels that's being dropped, the game that's being given, because I'm not telling you something that I'm not doing. Yeah, I'm not like you will see it. Like I said it, you will see it. Yeah. And so that's what's going to happen. We talk mergers and acquisitions. You see the EYL University recession proof. Like
talk to us about that. What made you decide you wanted to do that? That was a huge deal.
Honestly, it made sense. Because in this space that we have, I created a dope platform. And within sales, you notice you always have to be in media. You always have to constantly push. And with them, they have a dope media company. They have dope media, dope influence, a grab. They got a grip on the whole education space. Like it's the biggest podcast out. You can't go nowhere, you come in, no shade to your podcast, but it's the biggest one out. So as it's moving, you look at things like, how does the brand collaboration work? And since the beginning of time, if you look, and I paid attention, we had a conversation, is that they built things off of collaboration. Mm-hmm. They built their brand off of collaboration. They never built it off of trying to be, by themselves. You look at Market Mondays, you look at Keys, you look at things. And so even the whole network they built it together. It's 2 people, 3 people together. So it's always been that. And so we was just having a conversation, and it randomly came out. It wasn't a plan. It just came up in conversation, and it made sense. Like, yo, I don't want to go build a media company. I don't want to go create a podcast. I don't want to go on all these press runs. I've been good in business. I've been good at setting up infrastructure. I've been good at building it, but I don't want to have to be the person to sell it forever. I don't want to have to always be the face. I don't want to have to go build I want to be known for business. I want to do more and bigger business deals that don't require my face. And so to build that, it was just like, it just made sense. And I couldn't put Powered By or put Recession Proof behind nothing else.
Yeah.
It's
well, you could have mine. I could have just bought Recession Proof.
Recession Proof bigger than yours, so it wouldn't have worked. It
ain't bigger, bro.
And what, Circle of Greatness?
Yeah.
You only got the logo on the screen. That's crazy. But yeah, we can.
You're a piece of crap, man. Listen, but I think you said something that's important, because I've learned partnerships don't work well when we both doing the same thing. Like, it's great, media, education, both doing the same, but bring it together, and now we all could just be this super.
Yep.
Because I want to talk to that entrepreneur who's like, yo, I'm trying to do this with my man, and you and your man do the same thing. You probably need to find an operational person. Like, I don't need two marketers together.
Nope.
We need an operationals person, and we need a marketer. We need somebody to, like, I'm running fast. Somebody got to keep all that together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the biggest thing, I think, with when people look at collaborations and in partnerships. A lot of times people get their feelings hurt because they like, nobody around me. Like, how many of y'all watching this now? You're the person that's inspired. You're the person that has the bigger vision. You're the person that your family look at and go, we know you got what it takes. You the one that's going to make it. How many of you guys are the one that you try to inspire your friends? You probably sent them this podcast before, and you tell them to watch it, and you trying to inspire them, right? So many people are that person. Well, when you're that person, guess what? Is that you get let down or your feelings get hurt because your friends don't want to do it. They don't see the vision that you got. They don't see what you see. They haven't watched what you watched. They haven't studied what you studied. And a lot of times is that you look at them, and then when we say, yo, you got to get around different people, you think you got to get away from them because they don't see it. But the reality of it is that you're the problem. See, you didn't think about the fact that you still in the struggle. You didn't think about the fact that we in the same position, we in the same boat. What qualifies you the right to give me advice? See, you give me advice based off your opinion. You're not giving me advice based off your experiences. Don't tell me how to go, how to make it down the river, and you ain't went down the river. Go down the river. You telling me it's a boat down there, we ain't got to swim? Cool. Well, you go find the boat, come back and get me. You asking people to jump off the ledge into moving water, and they not sure if they can swim or not.
Yeah. I'm going to tell y'all the power of invest. I never even told this story. I was building recession proof.
Georgia under a state of emergency tonight as dangerous storms leaving damage in their wake. 11 Alive here to warn you.
Multiple tornado warnings, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Now we are seeing the evidence of some of these storms that have been moving through.
Chris, we've had a lot of damage reports coming in all throughout the day, not just from here in Georgia, but all the way back into Alabama.
Our team's working across the state, tracking the damage from Estelle.
This is Cameron Crossing neighborhood. Take a look at the tree that has snapped down, crushed the top of this house.
I get a call, right, from my mom. I didn't answer. I'm filming the podcast. 5 minutes later, during the podcast, all the lights shut out. 1 minute after that, I get a message from my neighbor like, yo, is everything all right? So I called like, hey, what do you mean? He said a tree hit your house, split your house in half. I'm like, what? And again, it didn't necessarily split my house in half. So I rushed to my home, right? I get here, and I'm, by the grace of God, 1 foot. Now, again, my roof is ruined, like water's raining in my daughter room right now. Stuck on the front, messed up, knocked down fences, a whole nother tree knocked down. But if 1 more foot would have happened, my mom told me she was in the bathroom, my mom would be severely injured. All the cars would have been ruined. All type of stuff would have happened, right? I'm sharing this with y'all to say, y'all can't even see it. They hair cutting down the tree, but you can't see the magnitude of it. But I'm sharing with this to let you know, start living your life. You do not know when your time is up. You don't know when your family time is up. We got to start taking advantage of every waking minute that we have, because you don't know when something's going to happen. So again, y'all, this could be a totally different video with me talking about, yo, guys, I lost my family or something. But thank God we're good. I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Let's live our life to the fullest.